What is a scary, unsettling fact about you? I had 6 toes on each foot at birth and got them cut off. You can see the place they cut them at. Look how they massacred my boy. They robbed you of the ability to run 20% faster. I have no will to live and I'm only still here so I don't upset my family and friends. I've considered suicide far more than my wife knows. Was once a serious option in my life when things got hard and I felt trapped. Sometimes it's just a casual thought. I'm also a very light fun person in social situations, always trying to make people laugh. But I'm actually really depressed. I have an enlarged aortic root. It's very unlikely, but it could spontaneously rupture, leading to the medical term adjusts glasses. Instantaneous death. I would pass out, bleed to death, and then fall over. Dead before hitting the ground. And it could happen at any time. My wife is very uncomfortable thinking about it, lol. I'm a physician. If you're not being followed by a vascular surgeon, you should be. They're supposed to ultrasound it at regular intervals and do a prophylactic surgery. Sometimes can be done just through a catheter, with a graft if it does get too large. If it spontaneously ruptures, you do still have a chance of survival if you live near a hospital with cardiothoracic surgery. I've seen it done in person. I love it when doctors are on Reddit saving people's lives and shit. I have 2 lenses in my right eye, so it focuses like binoculars. My doctor wrote a paper about it. Mostly blinded as a baby in my left eye. Doctors suspected my right lens split, then healed as 2 distinct lenses. Better than 20/20 in my right eye. Slept in my mom's bed until I was 12 years old. Everyone believed I was just a mama's boy, including myself. It was actually because I shared a bedroom with my brother who molested me. I start therapy soon. My dog and my mother died in the same year. I was so devastated when my dog passed. That kind of pain didn't even touch the pain of losing my mom. Partially because she had given up on me in life years before she died. She drank herself to death and got sepsis. My dad killed himself in 2002. I'm 38 now. I miss them. I miss my dog more. She was always there for me, through so much illness and loneliness and pain. She was my best friend. R.I.P. I have unusually good night vision, extra cones, rods, I forget which is for low light, which means I walk around in what other people consider complete darkness, able to see just fine. Add on to that I'm 6 feet 10 inches and very large, basically a cryptid. I had my appendix removed in England. So part of me is in Canada right now, and another part of me is in England. That's about all I got. Growing up, I had a recurring nightmare set in my grandparents' backyard looking at the back of their house. There was just something off about the house. Something mildly sinister. I dreamt this over and over, many times over the years. In 2018, my dad, who now owned the house, went into the backyard to that spot and killed himself. I haven't had the backyard dream since. I had a recurring super vivid intense dream at like 4. My uncle was chasing us around a labyrinth with a large knife, trying to kill me and my grandmother. 25 or so years later, the same uncle, complete paranoid delusional schizophrenic, murders my grandmother at her condo, with the very nice chef knife I bought her for Christmas the year before. Sorry for your loss, that's hard. I have a recurring dream about my paranoid schizophrenic father murdering everyone in my house. I'm an alcoholic, gotten so bad to the point I was in jail and I was admitted into a psych ward once. My drinking life was wild and destructive. Decided I've had enough. After 2 failed attempts, I'm currently 36 days sober, the most sober I've been in years. I was the one who pushed over the Faygo vending machine at the IGA in 2006. ICP fans about to annihilate your DMs. Since I was very young, age 9 or 10 I think, I've had thoughts that I was going to die young. The older I got, the age 24 just kept reoccurring. I'll be 24 in a few months. I have appointments for neurologists for a suspected brain tumor coming up. Nothing is certain or set, but this all feels very weird. Not sure if it's scary? But my dad overdosed on heroin and died. I probably could have saved him. I went downstairs at like 1 a.m. to get a drink and saw the bathroom door closed with the light on. I thought about pounding on the door to scare him, which is something I would do to mess with him. I walked up to the door, went to knock on it, but thought to myself, nah, don't mess with him. And I walked away. Woke up later finding out he was dead from an overdose. It's not your fault. You didn't know he was overdosing in there. Thank you. This happened 15 years ago, but it still crosses my mind sometimes. I have a tendency to self-isolate, and it's damaged very long-term friendships because people don't understand that it's not them, it's me, and that I really mean no harm or have any ill feelings towards them. I just kinda want to recede into my own mind. I feel really bad about it and keep telling myself to reach out, but I don't. I was emotionally abused by my dad. He died of cancer around 6 years ago, and I felt nothing. I felt bad that he was in so much pain. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I just remember waking up the day after he died and feeling so oddly at peace when there was no one yelling at me in my doorway. I truly believe his death helped me recover from my eating disorder, and I became so much less suicidal and reclusive after that. This is how I felt when my mom died. She abused me my whole life. I think it's normal not to care if they died. I only mourn the life I could have had when people talk about their wonderful parents. My dad was just an absent alcoholic. I do not actually remember a decent chunk of my life. Whenever I talk about most of my childhood, I use words that leave room for mistakes, and I'm generally using memories and ideas I've compiled from hearing other people say things about me. There is actually a large chunks of facts about myself that I only think I know, and don't have personal confirmation of. Yeah, I have the same problem. I think my brain is just trying to save me from the trauma. I remember a lot of the trauma, but by now it is slivers of a memory. It's all just fractions of my childhood. I have people constantly ask me if I remember this or that, and I am a deer in the headlights. I sometimes forget what happened a few days ago. Sometimes I think I have memories of being sexually molested or exploited as a young child. But I can't ever be sure if the memories are real, and I wouldn't dare ask anyone. Edit, I am shocked and horrified at how many others have similar experiences, suspicions. But the amount of people that feel comfort in knowing they aren't alone has made sharing this post worth it. Wishing you all clarity, peace, and healing. I went to a GP in agonizing pain. I vomited around 20 or 30 times consecutively on their restroom floor. I was told it was a UTI. Recovered a little. Next day was in more pain, and after seeing a couple doctors, I was rushed to a hospital for emergency operation on a testicular torsion. I ended up losing one testicle. Spent the night there before returning home. One day later I met the love of my life and never looked back since. But that 2 days of pain was something nobody should have to go through. A third of my body is covered in burn scars. A very decent young man that worked for me, and who I consider a dear friend, went off to college and was doing some side work. He was burning brush and he fell into the burn pit where he also received burns across 70% of his body. He was fortunate, however, as he was sent to the U.S. military burn unit in San Antonio, Texas, where they were able to provide him with the best burn care in the world. It was still a very painful and traumatic experience and expensive, as his dad told me that some of the bandages were $2,000 per bandage and had to be replaced daily. He was able to finish his degree and went on to get his master's, but he will not go out in public without a long-sleeve shirt or wear shorts. I asked him if he thought he would ever lose the self-consciousness of the scars, and he said that maybe one day he hoped he would, but that he isn't there yet. Thank you very much for watching. Also, don't forget to like and share this video with your friends. See you later.